So let's talk about it. That's Alex Murdaugh, whatever the fuck his name is. This motherfucker. He says he gets on the stand for cross-examination. Now, I've already determined that this guy's guilty based off all the stealing of the money and resources that he was doing his whole time that he was doing his like law job for the whole time, but you get my point. And I'm like, man, you're so guilty, it's not even fucking funny. Like, some of the stuff that he was saying, like, oh, I was taking like 60 pills of this particular drug. And I'm like, with that particular drug, if you took 60 pills, you'd be dead, sir. So you trying to tell us that you're actually distributing, that you're a fucking dealer? Is that what you're telling me? That you're a dealer? But okay. The part that made me realize that the guy was, first of all, he definitely killed his family. But first of all, he kept lying about this, that, and the third. But the thing that really made me say, like, you're an evil piece of shit is I put a statistic up about violence against people with disabilities, right? And how people disproportionately, by mass, attack people with disabilities and kill them with, like, no remorse, okay? So what does it have to do with his case? There was a housekeeper or a maid or something, and she mysteriously died on their property, if I remember correctly. Let me know if I'm wrong. He took out a life insurance policy on her. He was like, oh, I'm going to give the money to her two disabled sons. They didn't receive a dime. They didn't receive a fucking dime. So y'all don't think there's no way he could have killed his family after all the money he was stealing? After all the shit that he did to get money from people? All the fuckery that he was doing? You don't think this man had the capacity, after doing something that's so vile, so disgusting, to people with disabilities, who the person that was providing for them died on your property, and you're like, I'm just going to take the money. I'm going to keep the money for myself. There's no way you could there's no way you're thinking like, oh, it's crazy. We're not saying that he's not a bad guy. It's just proving that he actually killed his family. Do you really need all this time to determine that he killed his family? This motherfucker killed his family. Now, no question in my head. He keeps changing the story. You're not reliable. You're not reliable with other people's money. And I'm surprised that he hasn't, I'm sitting back thinking like, the funny part about the cross-examination is that the attorney is trying to like show that he is slick with his words, and that he can twist words around to suit his needs. I think like this in a bigger scope. I'm like, I mean, you lie about stuff like this and you're so calculated, you understand all this stuff, you're so calculated, then I feel like how many cases do people have to look over now to see like, were you really telling the truth, or were you like, how many cases need to be retried because of you? But okay, we won't go that far. Just saying, how many cases? You know, you lying piece of shit. It's also stealing your client's money and shit too. Yo, that guy did it. He looks like an evil piece of shit. Like, you know what trips me out? Like Hollywood would like put all these images of people who are supposed to be evil, right? And a lot of times they'd be like these evil white men. They have a certain look, right? And they will purposely put these people up, right? But when you have like shit like this happen in real life, they want to act like, oh, well, let's not take it at face value. Let's not, looks don't mean everything. Sometimes people might look like an evil person, but they don't commit the crime. He definitely killed his family. That's my opinion. Look, like how many things have to stack up before you realize, oh, the person did it? Like with it's black people, they're like, oh, you did this one little thing. We're gonna throw the fucking book at you, Joe Biden. We're gonna throw the book at you, you know. When it comes to white men, they can do all this heinous, nasty, awful shit their whole life, and then we'll sit there and question and be like, well, did he really do it? Did he really? So he washed off the evidence. Okay, all right, motherfucker. He washed off the evidence. He washed off the evidence. Went to someone's house and said, hey, don't say nothing to nobody. Don't say nothing. And then you're trying to tell me he didn't do it? Get out of here. Look at this cute guy. He's a boxer. Good thing I'm not scared of dogs. I wonder if he wants to play. Because his barking doesn't sound vicious. It sounds more like, who are you? More like, who are you? Who are you? But anyway, so yeah. The whole thing with, and it trips me out. It just trips me out that people are like, oh, but did he really do it? Get the fuck out of here. He definitely did this shit. People talking about, oh, it's gonna be a mistrial. They're trying to have a mistrial. I'm just like, you know. And like people who are, and like, I gotta say this too, another thing too, it just fucking bothers me, is that the incompetence of the people that worked there with him when he was stealing money. They're like, oh, yeah, I know something wasn't okay, but I kind of just did it anyway. And I'm just like, I would have quit. I would have fucking quit. There's no way I'm going to sit there and see that other people's money, the client's money is being stolen. And they're going to sit there and be like, well, I tried to say something, but I couldn't do anything because, you know, he's just so powerful. I would have quit. Yes, I would have fucking quit. There's no way. And that just shows you, like, the pussiness of the people that worked around him and everything like that. But then again, I say that, but he did just kill people. He just killed his kids, his kid and his wife, and possibly even the housekeeper or whatever she was. So in a way, they're like, oh, they're probably thinking, yeah, you'll do anything. I'll stay away from you. So perhaps I'm just speaking out of turn, but he did that shit. And everybody trying to act like he didn't do it. He did that shit. You all know who you worked for. And you know he was a vile, evil man. He did that shit. Like I said, statistically, people in the United States have no problem abusing people who have disabilities. He knew that the housekeeper had 2 sons that had disabilities. She mysteriously comes up dead. He gets life insurance policy on her saying that he's going to give the money to the sons that need it because there are 2 people with disabilities and they don't get any money. So there's no way you could possibly think that this man killed his wife and his son. He killed his wife and his son. The fact that you would do something so vile to 2 people who have disabilities who needed their mother, get out of here. There's no way you're not a good, there's no way you didn't do it. And people walking around acting like, oh, it's a possibility. No. The reason why you're saying that is because you hope to get away with something so vile. You hope to get away with something so awful. Perhaps you've done something in your past that you don't want coming up. That's why you're excusing away and making excuses for it. But you're a terrible person.